one of the arguments in the Calvinism-Arminian debate there is Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this not of your own doing, it is the gift of God, not because of works, lest any man should boast. Now one will say that the gift is grace, and the other will say that the gift is the faith. What is your take on Ephesians 2:8-9?
Yeah, I think that the gift there, I don't think that you can make a case that it's just faith, because I believe the genders don't match up. Some doesn't match up in the Greek. It's been a long time since I looked at the passage. Some would say it's the whole phrase. Some would say it's just salvation, that's the free gift. Whatever the case, Jacob Arminius himself in his writings had no problem with even faith being considered a gift. But Arminius would add, if you view it as a gift, it's still a gift we could reject. And so really it becomes a moot point if you acknowledge that it's a gift that could be rejected. But whatever the case, I don't think this debate is going to be settled by going into the Greek or just reading good English translations, because you have Greek scholars and great expositors of the Word on both sides of the aisle. So even among ancient Jewish rabbis, you had the same type, but obviously it wasn't the Calvinist-Arminian debate, but you had the predestination free will debate. And I think that the Bible teaches that we are free to accept or reject Christ, but it also teaches divine sovereignty and predestination. A lot of my Calvinist friends, I don't think they do justice to free will. My Arminian friends, they water down predestination into where it's just God. Predestination means nothing, really. God just stamps. He predestines what you're going to do anyway. And whereas my view of predestination, if God doesn't predestine, I accepted Jesus at age 21, and it took me going into the Marine Corps based on some pretty weird circumstances that got me into the Marine Corps. It's possible that if I stayed in New Jersey my entire life, I might have been in my comfort zone. I might have never freely accepted Jesus as my Savior. It's also possible if I didn't move to Washington State in the United States Marine Corps, I might not have freely accepted Jesus as my Savior. So God had to predestine me to go into the Marine Corps, predestine me to be in Washington State, predestine the circumstances which would persuade me to freely accept Jesus as my Savior, for me to come to Christ. With most Arminians, they don't. Today's Arminians, I think Jacob Arminius would have a heart attack to hear about. So I really think we need a second look at Jacob Arminius, and the idea that anyone who disagrees with John Calvin is just into the wisdom of man. I have a hard time with that, because Calvin and Luther, they're great scholars, but it wasn't really a back to the Bible movement. It was a back to the Bible as interpreted by St. Augustine when it came to soteriology, the doctrine of salvation. And most of my Arminian friends have never read Arminius, so they're just going right to the Bible, as whether they're poorly interpreting the Scriptures or doing a great job interpreting the Scriptures, at least they're making an attempt to get to the biblical text. So, and most Calvinists will do the same. They're not going to just quote Calvin. They're going to go to the text. But I just don't like one side or the other being slammed for being into the philosophy of man or the wisdom of man. Let's just go to the Bible and dialogue as brothers and sisters in the Lord. Am I an Arminian? Most would say no, because I believe in the security of the believer. Am I a Calvinist? It would do a disservice to Calvin to put an asterisk on the first point, reject the next 3 points, and then accept the 5th point, and then call myself a Calvinist. So I don't know what you would call me, but I think that we need to have more dialogue, not less. But we don't need to name call. We don't need to damn people into hell. And but it's a hot topic. But I think it's one where we need more dialogue. But I have good friends who love the Lord that are 5-point Calvinists, and I have good friends that are Arminians who love the Lord. And I have good friends who call themselves 4-point Calvinists, but they're not really Calvinists.